Hello, it's the Cryo Lady. So today I'm going to try and talk a little bit about Janice. Now, Janice is my mother, and just for a bit of a background, I haven't seen any of my family since 2012. I found out in 2013 that my parents had actually relocated. They'd moved from Plymouth to Colwyn Bay in Wales without telling me. They actually did not want me to know. Why they didn't want me to know, I have no idea. I'd not done a single thing to them. I do not know why. But I kind of guess, well, I mean, obviously they don't like me, because you don't, I mean, love is just not something that exists for them. But, you don't do that sort of thing to somebody that you like, let alone love. I formally cut contact with them in 2014. Now, you may ask why that took me so long. Well, I just didn't hear anything from them. I didn't hear anything from them until late 2013. So, we're talking about a whole year's gone by. They've made no attempt to contact me. I had no contact details for them. I was just disgusted. Wasn't in contact with any of my brothers and sisters for the simple reason that, they'd been told not to tell me. So, what do you make of that? Well, you can make what you like of that, but clearly that's not a very kindly thing to do to someone that's actually never done anything at all to any of them. So, do I care about them now? No, I don't. And actually, I'm kind of better off without them, much better off. Do I care about my parents? No, I don't care about my parents. I grieved for a period of time, and it was difficult. I guess it was difficult to sort of put myself through that, but I knew that in the long run, I would be far better off without them. I'd let them pull their little stunts for way too long. Them and their sort of nasty, snide, selfish ways, really. Anyway, let's talk about Janice. Janice was one of 4 children. She still has 2 siblings that are alive. Now, when she was around, sort of, I don't know, in the early 60s, so when she was quite young, her parents, they emigrated to Australia, taking her 3 younger siblings with them. So Janice was, I think Janice at this point was married to Floyd, and they were already, I guess, well into developing their, unhealthy codependent relationship. The things that Janice did, well, I guess it's probably more about the things that Janice did not do. Take contraception for one, and keep her pants up. That would be another. So she had 6 children, and why? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. It's inexplicable. Because if you go into Janice's home, and they do have a nice home, they have, I think, quite a big house as far as I'm aware. I'm not really certain. You would think that Janice was an elderly lady who was also childless. I mean, obviously she's married to Floyd, but you would also think, and you'd be quite right in assuming this, that she is besotted with cats. I mean, she's had more cats than I've had hot dinners. There's cat ornaments all over the place. I mean, it's extreme. It is extreme. But what is missing in Janice's home is absolutely any sign whatsoever that she has any children. And as I said, she had 6 children, and I believe in total 13 grandchildren. You would never know it. You would never suspect it. Now, the thing is with Janice is that she has very few social skills. She doesn't know how to interact with people if you take her anywhere, you're taking a big chance. I remember when I was married for the first time, I was married to a naval officer, and we invited Janice and Floyd to a ball on a warship, which is, they used to do that. We took her along, okay. Now, she's quite a large lady, quite short but plump. I mean, I'm tall and plump. But anyway, what she did, and I wasn't plump at that point either, but what she did was she got a plate, because it was a buffet this time, and she went over to the buffet and she piled this plate with food as high as she got as much food on it as she possibly could, and there were crab claws, and she sat at the table. We had other officers and their wives at the table. Oh, my sister Gail was there, that's another story. And she started to gorge herself. She had mayonnaise dribbling down her chin, and when she was eating one of the crab claws, it flicked right across the table. Anyway, I remember standing on the deck with her, and she was talking about, she said, oh, look at all those people talking to each other, pretending they're so interested in each other. Well, a lot of people, they all knew each other. And because Janice didn't have any friends, she was incapable of making any friends at all. She did not know how to interact with other people at all. But she was also bigoted, and she was racist as well. She was absolutely racist. I mean, I remember an incident when we went to a doctor's surgery, and she made references to Jews, derogatory references about Jews, about Muslims, and just another certain type of person as well. I had to tell her to be quiet because people started looking at her. It was embarrassing. It was very embarrassing. But yeah, she's kind of like, she is a bit... The other thing as well with Janice is I have zero recollection of her. I have zero recollection of Janice ever giving me a kiss as a small child. She never hugged me. I have no recollection of any form of affection from Janice. Never once in my entire life has she said that she's been proud of me or that she loved me. And I guess, growing up as a child, that was rather hard to come to terms with, because the majority of my friends from school that I knew, in whatever school I was in, I went to many of those. I used to go round to their houses, sometimes, and I just feel so intensely jealous of them, because they just, everyone seemed, well, when I was a kid anyway, everyone seemed to have such lovely, loving and lovely families. Unfortunately, Janice was not like that, not at all. I don't really know what made her that way. I mean, her father, I guess, I know virtually nothing about my grandfather, but I think he was quite a strict sort of man. He was a stickler for things. He was pretty, well, actually I know a few things about him that aren't particularly nice. So I think I might leave that one actually. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Janice for now.